Howdy class, my name is Miguel Jimenez, and today I'm going to be presenting my Math 134 project, which is about 250 male heights in inches. The first question asks, provide a main title and data file for your dataset and the size of the dataset. So for our dataset, we chose 250 random samples of 250 men's heights. Here's the link to the men's heights. And here is a snippet of those 10 heights. Now, if we follow the link, we can actually take a look right here at the data set we're looking at. They're all heights in inches. As we move further down, the question asked is the following. Is the data set a sample or population? Now, the author does not provide an estimate of whether it is a population or a sample. But throughout our investigation, we managed to conclude that the given data that we have is a random sample. The third question asks, evaluate the 5-number summary using technology to confirm your results. Now, for the technology portion, what we did was we went on StatCrunch and we used the output it gave us in terms of the one variable stats. And there it was provided to us our sample, which is provided by the letter N, and it is 250. Our minimum, 63.2. Our quarter 1, 67.7. Our median, 69.7. Our Q3, 71.7. And our maximum number, 77.3 inches. Not very tall, those guys. Here we have another summary of the 5-number summary. The fourth question asks, evaluate the mean, variance, and standard deviation, and make sure to properly provide all formulas and variables. Verify your results using technology, and insert one picture of the one variable statistics or a previous lab that evaluated the mean, variance, and standard deviation. Now, we're following the same format as the previous questions, as instructed right here. So here we have the mean, 69.7832 inches, the sample variance, 8.3298371, and the sample standard deviation, which is provided with 2.8661457. Now, moving further along, we can see right here the mean inputted with the formula corresponding to it. So here we have the formula for the mean with the result, which matches with the results we got in StatCrunch. Here is the variance with its formula. And here is the standard deviation, which is 2.8661457. Now, this link right here also provides us to the data set that we are using for this project. Now, question 5 asks a critical question. It says, evaluate the following and show all steps and formulas. Now, we have to provide the same format as questions 3 and 4. And question 5 states, what is the IQR? Now, the IQR is Q3 minus Q1. So for our Q3, we have 71.7, and for our Q1, we have 67.7. Now, crunching in the numbers, rounding, looking at all the results, we get an IQR of 4 inches. Now, the second part to question 5 asks, evaluate the z-score for the minimum and the maximum value. Now, evaluating the z-score for the minimum value, we get 67.7 minus 69.7832 divided by 2.8861457, which gives us a result, a z-score, for the minimum of negative 2.809659112. Now, following the same formula, which is z equals x minus x bar divided by sigma, or the standard deviation, for the max score, we get 71.7 divided minus 69.8832 divided by 2.8861457, which gives us a result of 2.60444302. Now, if we want to crunch this into a sentence, which really blends in the results correctly, we can say the z-score of the minimum and the maximum is negative 2.8096591 and 2.60442302. Now, the third part of question 5, part C, it states, evaluate the usual interval using the mean and the standard deviation. Provide proper units, sentences, and formulas. Now here we have to bring back, again, the mean, the standard deviation, and the formula we have to use here. The formula here we have to use is mean, which is interpreted as x bar, plus or minus 2 times the standard deviation. Now, plugging in these numbers, we can sum this up as 69.7832 plus or minus 2 times the standard deviation of 2.8661457, which gives us the usual interval using the mean and the standard deviation of 64.0109808856 and 75.555491144 inches. Now, the fourth part, part D, it states, evaluate the usual interval given the lower and upper fences. Make sure to provide proper units and sentences and formulas. Now, here we have the proper units and the formula. And we have what the IQR is, as previously solved up top. Now, our lower fence, it's going to be Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR, which gives us 67.7 minus 1.5 times 4 gives us a lower fence of 61.7. Now, the upper fence is Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR, which gives us 71.7 plus 1.5 times 4. And this result gives us 77.7. Now, the usual interval using the lower and upper fences are 61.7 and 77.7 inches. Question 6. Question 6 asks us to provide a stem plot. Now, this isn't your usual stem plot that you're used to seeing with the two numbers going down with the key at the top right. No, this one's a little bit different because we have decimals in our data set. Now, when you try to crunch in the numbers, it's very difficult to do a stem plot when you have a lot of decimals. So this is an alternative stem and leaf plot provided to us by StatCrunch at statcrunch.com. And here we have our key, which is 71 bar 9 equals 71.9. Now here we have a bar graph with 5 classes. Now it is for 250 men's heights. So here we have 5 classes. And yeah. Next we got a whisker plot, also known as a box and whisker plot, whichever terminology you prefer. And as we can see with this whisker plot, the right side right here between Q3 and the max, it's actually, the tail on this side is actually slightly much larger than the tail on this side between the minimum and the Q1. So using that, we can assume that our data is skewed to the right. Now here we have a dot plot. Now what a dot plot does is it plots the dots on the corresponding variables. Thank you.